No. Hey.
Susan, get out of here.
Oh, she's stretching by putting her claws in the couch and then pulling her arms. Kitty. Bunnies. Hi, Vivi. I love this baby.
You love that boy?
I love that bun.
You love that boy?
Oh my gosh, she just totally jumped on his back. Watch this. That's what we have to deal with all the time. Oh my gosh, even me. He's gonna have to get used to playing.
Hey.
No, the cat, even grown-up cats. You gotta see.
No, stop it. Sue, come here. No.
Hello. Okay. So I'm putting you in the cabinet. I hope you don't mind. There we go. All right, we're gonna lower the radio. And this is Sunday night. I have to say that, oh my gosh, I went to church this morning, right? And I don't know, I usually have this gnawing away. Let me show you. I got this from my father, actually my stepmother. It was one of my father's rings. Let me see how it goes. It's of the Blessed Mother. Look at all my scratches from the kitten. But see this here? You see that? It's the Blessed Mother, just like around my neck. And then I put my rosary ring on that. Nice. So, oh yeah, I got some things from my father's house. I got some things from my father. For those of you that don't know, my father went with the good Lord on January 1st. Yes. So, I'm at church this morning. Excuse me. I'm at church this morning, and I always feel this gnawing away. It's like, remember Pac-Man? Imagine Pac-Man chomping away on the inside of you, and he's just constantly like, it's like kind of like the kitten at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like, stop it, and you keep trying to like throw it off you, and it just, she won't stop, right? So I have to get the squirt bottle out. So I'm in church, and right before Holy Communion, a nice little miracle happened. I'll call it a big one, because, oh my gosh. So I'm in there, and I'm like, I'm saying certain things. I'm like, Lord, who is it? I can't be that guy, right? I'm talking about a future husband, right? Someday, whatever. I'm definitely not at the place that I used to be at, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I need to be married. I have to be married. It's like, yeah, all that would be fine and dandy, but it is a lot of work. You have to get to know each other, and it's just work. It's enjoyable work, but it is work. You have to sacrifice and all this here, and anyway. So I'm like, it can't be that guy, and it can't be that guy. And it's like, look at all these beautiful families. And, I love how the husband is on one end, the wife is on the other, and all the kids are in the middle. Steven and I used to do that all the time. And I was like, wow, what comfort that must bring the children, no matter what age they are. I used to love sitting in the same pew at the church with my father. It was just magical. And so, I loved it. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm like, wow, look at all these families. And I said, you know what, Lisa, it's okay, because Stephen is up at the altar. He's in heaven. He already made it. As far as when I say heaven, I mean he could be in purgatory. And that's part of heaven. That's fine. But I like how my father's friend once said, you want to talk to your husband? I was like, yeah. This was while he was laid out at the wake. And I was like, yeah, I want to talk to him. And he goes, okay, at the Mass. During the Mass, all the angels and the saints, they're all present with the Lord. So I always picture him at the altar behind the priest when I'm receiving Holy Communion, now along with my beloved Father. And so God just filled me with so much hope, oh my gosh, for a husband at church today. It was really wild and beautiful. And so as I'm analyzing the situation around me, looking at all these families, and I'm looking at these guys, I'm not saying these guys, I'm just saying like men in general. And I'm like, well, if it's not that person, it's not that person, who is it? So boom, bam, somebody comes to my mind. Somebody who you don't know about. Maybe some of you do. But anyway, so all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, I just have to be patient. So it just filled me with so much like hope. And I see that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from, is not so much about my home and my future, but my future. Who am I going to be with somebody? Am I going to be a nun? Am I going to be just a grandmother? Am I going to be, I really admire the older couples. Like I went to a funeral yesterday, and, she passed away to the good Lord, and her husband is this really big, tall, big guy, Italian, he's got the accent, he's talking like this, and, and he's talking about his wife and all the saints, and he's talking about the miracles, and he's talking about St. Padre Pio, and I was just like, oh, he's a dreamboat, even though he's in his 70s, right? It's like, he's so darling. It's like, oh Lord, please, but like I said, it's not a desperation anymore at all. It's just waiting upon God. But I was released all of a sudden, poof, right? Then I received Holy Communion, and I'm just like, thank you for this peace. I was filled with joy. I got to visit my family. I got to visit my stepmother. I got to visit my mother. I got to visit my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, who was so beautiful. And I looked right at her when I was leaving, and I said, she had this beautiful smile on her face. And I said, if we all live a really long life and you go before us, then you'll hear, I said, Rosina, this is, please be at the gate at 1 p.m. You have you have a family member, whatever the case, however they announce it, in heaven, and then it'll be me. And then one day it'll be my children. They'll be next. And I'm not saying when I talk like this, I'm in any hurry. I'm just saying that, compared to all eternity, 30, 40 years, whatever I got left, is so tiny compared to all eternity. So we just have to make it through this life with a lot of love and joy as much as we can. And what is God's purpose for our life? And it was so exciting to think that, wow, I said, we're going to be together. Like all of us, we'll never have to leave each other again, And so she just had the biggest smile on her face. And it was like, for all eternity, we will never have to leave each other. This stuff is always on my mind because, I looked up in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, the St. Joseph Baltimore Catechism, which I did. I'm going to put it up, if I haven't already, on the video, the purpose of our existence. And it talks about how it is so that God could show his goodness and his kindness, right? And so when people look at you, they'll say, wow, look how good God is, right? And so that we could be happy with him here and in the next, right? So to be with him, to be happy, it says, to be happy with him in like now and in heaven. So that's why we exist. So it's like, okay, so all right, even though we have all these trials and tribulations and God is with us through them all, and he is, right? It's amazing. I'm so excited. I keep looking at the kitty. She's down there in the shoes, of course. You like wearing the shoes, kitty? You're so beautiful. Here, let me show you. There's Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty, you cute baby. Look at her all lounging out. I'm glad to make a house a home for a kitty. Look at us. Look at us. You look like a fox. Yes, you do. Oh, that's Seth's shoe. Oh, boy. Where you going, honey? Oh, boy, she's going inside. She's going in there. Oh, she wants to go. You want to go in the shoe? Aw, the old kitty that lived in the shoe. She didn't have her mummy. She didn't know what to do, so she went in the shoe. That's the kitties. All right, so I'm going to make cheese and broccoli soup. How do I even do that? I don't even remember. But we're just going to give it a whirl, okay? So I'm glad to have a blessed day, a very blessed day. God just took that anxiety away. It's like it just went poof. That's why it has to be temptation. It just has to be temptation. But he gave me hope. Yes. About being married, anyway. All right, so we just have to be patient. That's all. Everything else is good. We're still making our house a home. We are filling our home. One of my goals is, I'm not a big chicken person at all. Like, I could care less about eating it. If I was starving, sure. But I think I'm gonna make a big pot of chicken soup. Always have it available, some kind of soup, and this will be like the soup kitchen, you know, for all their friends, you know. Seth has a kid over tonight. I just always want my house filled with flow, right? The people that I'm hoping to come live here, a husband, children, grandchildren, friends. It's always going to be a constant thing for me, you know, and the Lord knows that. And so when the kids say, can I have so-and-so come over? I'm like, hey, yeah. All right, so broccoli and cheese soup. Let's go.